Hello, everyone. So just before finishing, we're very honored to have with us the European Commission, Carlos Moedas, who has a huge responsibility because, among other things, he coordinates Horizon 2020, which is the European Commission strategy for science and innovation. So we are here in the Royal Academy of Science. We are here among entrepreneurs and investors. So it's amazing to have the European Commission with us. So we're very, very honored to have you, the Commission here. I would like to call him to the stage and help me welcome the Commission to the stage. Also on behalf of the Portuguese ecosystem, I would like also to hand out to the Commission the manifesto that was elaborated by a lot of people from the ecosystem, and I hope it's taken also in consideration in the reflections you're doing. Thank you so much.
Very good. We'll go to Berlin.
So in Berlin, Ricardo will be there representing BTI and at the Startup Europe Summit. So thank you so much.
Very good, Peter. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know you're all very tired of a long 2 days of discussions in this beautiful place. And so I promise that I'm not a typical politician that will be here for like half an hour talking and talking. And so I thought that instead of tell you a little bit of what I think about startups and entrepreneurship, tell you that I was an entrepreneur myself long ago, and I was an investor myself. And I failed. I totally failed on that. And so I went into politics, which is not better, but is different. And so I love to be an entrepreneur in Lisbon. I think you are in one of the most amazing and wonderful places that you can be. But then I thought about, what can I tell you about being today an innovator? And what are the characteristics that actually have been for so long the characteristics of innovators? And there still are. But today, innovators are different. They are different from 100 years ago. And third, what are the future characteristics of innovators that you need to have to thrive and actually to be successful in the future? Because what it took to get here is not the same that will take us to be successful in this third wave that we're just starting. And so I thought about my personal experience, and I thought about things that actually that I was not good at. And I think that there's a couple of points that I've felt for this year and a half. Every time I talk to people like you in the different member states, you know, I go around the 28 member states of the Union, talking to entrepreneurs and feeling what they are, what they feel, why they have made those choices. And one of the things that I really feel all the time is that they are all, most of them, most of you, you have a kind of an obsession. You get up in the morning, you talk about your company, you go up to the street, you talk about your company, you go home, you have lunch, and you talk about your company. And so you're kind of like obsessive characters. You have such a passion and a drive that makes you obsessive. And you know what? I think that as really something that will always be like that. And in the plane back here, I was reading about one of my preferred characters, which is a guy that was an explorer that you probably know. He went to the South Pole, to the Antarctica in 1914. And he was called Shackleton, as you know. And Shackleton, in 1914, he wanted to hire people to actually go and explore. And so he needed people like you. And one of the most famous ads in a newspaper was Shackleton. And so he put this ad in 1914, which I think describes really how you can find entrepreneurs. And I quote, he said, "Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wage, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success." And I think that if you are a really entrepreneur, you will answer back to this ad. I wouldn't have the courage. But people that really believe, they believe that, look, everything can go wrong, but I'll be there. I'll be there because I believe that I'm right and everybody around me is wrong. And I think that is the major difference between you and your friends, the ones that are not entrepreneurs. And then I thought, really, you have to be so perseverant because your passion is so strong. And yesterday I was reading the Financial Times, and there was the story of, I don't know if a guy called Anthony Douglas is around. He's the guy who created Hole 19. And on the Financial Times, they were describing that he actually pitched 88 times, and he didn't give up. And so I think that this is the major difference between most of you and politicians like me. But then, what's the difference between innovators and explorers like Shackleton in the beginning of the century in 1914, 1920? I think that there's a major difference that happens around 1940. And that was the creation of the transistor, the invention of the transistor. And when the transistor was actually invented in the Bell Labs in the United States, what you see is that the type of people that got together were people that were different. And they were different because they were passionate about the disciplines of other people. So it was the first time, so the creation of the digital age, if we consider that the transistor is the steam, like the steam engine for the Industrial Revolution, that physicists with chemistry, with different areas got together in the Bell Labs with doers and thinkers to create the transistor. So the idea that you are always at the intersection actually is the innovation in the digital age. And the funny thing about it is that you have to have guts to be at the intersections, because it's much more comfortable if you are at the core of your discipline. I remember when I'm an engineer, a civil engineer by training, and I remember that when I started, at some point I wanted to change from civil engineer to mechanical engineer. And my professors down there here in Lisbon were shocked. I mean, why would you change from civil engineer to mechanical engineer? And I said, because I like it. And you know, and I think there's this change that innovators today, they have to be at the intersections. And that's why a lot of your parents ask you, so why did you go to study economics and now you're doing something different? Or where are you a lawyer and now you're not being a lawyer, you're creating a company? Because you love to be at the intersection. But being at the intersection makes that you have to have a lot of courage and guts to be there. And so I think that's the second point that I wanted really to get here tonight, is that if you want to keep innovating, it's not enough to be at the core of your business. You have to be at the intersections. Without that, you'll not make it. And I think that's really something that you all feel. And most of you that I talk, you'll never work in the center of your discipline. You're working in the intersections. But the third point, which is the most important point tonight here, is that the kind of entrepreneurs that made it on the second wave of the internet, and if we use Steve Case's first wave, second wave, and third wave, and being the first wave when you built the internet, and then the second wave when you actually build things on the internet, so all these apps and all these businesses, and then it comes the third wave, where you basically go from the Internet of Things to the Internet of Everything. And there's something that is changing, and that is changing the skills to thrive, is that you're getting into industries that are heavily regulated. You're getting into energy, you're getting into health, you're getting into food, into water, into education. And so the type of entrepreneurs that will make it in this third wave, they'll be different from the ones that actually made it on the first wave. And they will be the ones that know how to work with the policymakers. If you don't know how to work with policymakers, you will not be able to thrive it. I mean, the business, just the one that I saw, I don't see where he is now. Oh, I don't remember his name, but he was just here on stage. And he was talking about privacy. And my question is that if you have to really deal with things like privacy, you have to be driving the policymakers. So you have to teach politicians to do things and to make a difference. If you're looking at different areas in health or in food or in water, you need to be working with the politicians. And so I think that my message to you tonight is that in the future, we will have to work together. And the difficult thing is that politicians and public administration, they don't look at results, they look at the journey. So they are extremely good at going into a journey of doing policies and regulation and laws. And those laws and those public administrators, they take years to create those laws. And when they create those laws and regulations, they are about products that do not exist anymore. And so we have a problem. We have a problem because we are in a world that technology goes very fast and politicians go very slowly. And there's nothing you can do about it, but you can create ways of actually circumvent it with a new generation of politicians, I hope. And so that's what we've been doing in the European Commission, is to try to do ways where you're not going to regulate based on what you want, but based on the experience that we have talking to people like you. And we called it the innovation deals. And so we're launching something that I need your help, is that anytime you have a problem, you come to us, you discuss with us, and when we do it together. So that's a challenge that I wanted to put here tonight, is that you participate in our innovation deals idea. We have other ideas, but I think it's really late for you, and you look all very tired. So keep on doing it, keep on being yourselves. A professor of mine at the Harvard Business School used to say that a key part of any success is the part of you that is willing to fail. So keep failing and keep doing it. It was a great pleasure to be here, and I hope I was not too boring. So thank you very much.